BigHerc916, positivity, motivation. Never settle for average. Make sure you guys go to BigHerc916.com, pick up some merch, and subscribe to my car channel, Muscle Up Car Lifestyle. The link's in the description. That's my car channel where I talk about nothing but cars. And I want to talk about fear in your dreams. And I'm quite sure I spoke on this before, but it kind of popped in my head today because, last week, I think it was Friday, it said the stock market lost $2.3 trillion in one day. And then I believe it was Monday, NASDAQ was down like 1,000 points. They said that, we're on the brink of a recession. We pretty much have already, they said, been in a recession, but they just have been playing with the wording. And, they're creating a lot of fear. People are really scared about, finances, different things. And, all I have to say to that is, man, don't let the fear engulf you. Don't let them use fear to control your ability to function. Don't let it paralyze you. I got out in 2008 during the housing crisis. I didn't have a pot to piss in. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything, no job, no finances really. I had invested my money. I bought like, over 500 books. Maybe I had bought almost 800 or 1,000 books that I self-published. And I had bought a video camera from prison because I was going to document getting out of prison. And I was like, man, I was going to do my thing with Fresh Out. I was going to, create a series, be a producer, television producer, writer. And that was my plan. But I didn't have, any direct connections to the industry. And that was my vision. That was my dream. And I got out. I didn't realize that people were losing their homes. These balloon loans, they were getting, tore out the frame with their finances. People were filing for bankruptcy. A lot of people were going through it financially. I didn't watch any TV, when I was out. So I didn't, feed into any of the mass media stuff. I was just happy to be out, and I was trying to implement my plan. I was in South Central at one of the worst halfway houses you could be at in LA, gang territory. They had just murdered somebody who was a snitch at the halfway house, I think a couple of weeks before I got there, maybe a month before I got there. Caught a dude, so they found out where he's at, caught him slipping, and basically unalived him. There was a lot of, weed smoking going on, and, people just, hanging out in there. And I was doing my, trying to do my thing as best as I could. I had a homie that was in LA. He was doing club promotions. Shout out to DL. And I was just trying to figure out how to get a job so that I could get out of the halfway house and have freedom. Because in the halfway house, you have, you're still locked up. You're not locked up, but but you're still locked up. They can violate you, have the marshals come and send you back. And if you don't have a job, you only have maybe 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day to get out, to try to go fill out job applications, go to the job center. You got like, I think 45 minutes travel to and from, and then you have 5 hours or 4 hours. And so my immediate goal was to get a job and be able to have 8 hours a day and be able to move, get my groove and kind of get out and see what's going on out there in the world. And the homie DL came through for me, set me up a job. Had the lady from the halfway house, she went and checked it out. And initially I had the job and they had approved it, But somebody in the halfway house, see, that's the thing, even in the halfway house, you have haters. And somebody in there was hating on me, saying, oh, I was out doing porn while I was supposed to be at work. They had overheard me talking with another guy, and so they put me on lockdown. I couldn't leave for like 72 hours. So I'm stuck there all day. And until the counselor could go and verify my job, I couldn't go back to my job. So the homie had an office in Universal Studios, decorated it, hooked it up. They went there, it was legit. They, showed everything that, I was actually going somewhere, and I was able to get my job back. And on top of it, then you had, counselors there who hated because I was working in Hollywood. They would try to catch me slipping. They would call, and if they call you, you got to be able to pick up, they got a work number. You got to be able to pick up, call back, show where you're at. Yeah, I'm over here, blah, 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 blah. And you got X amount of time. So they're constantly trying to catch you, off your feet to see if you're doing something you're not supposed to do. And, dude, it's just it's a roller coaster in that halfway house. While I was in there, okay, I had my books, right? I had a good homie, shout out to C Down. He took me to go get my driver's license when I first got out, took me shopping. I was able to go to Marshall's, pick me up some bullshit clothing. And I had my books at his house initially because he got out before me, so I needed an address. And then I told him eventually I would get the books out of there. It's like 3 or 4 boxes of books. But anyways, I'm trying to hustle my books. So while I'm at work, I'm also going to like adult bookstores because I wrote a book called How to Get Down in a Porn Game. And, I said, I hide nothing. You guys can Google me. I was in adult entertainment, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that you guys should get involved in it, but I did it when I was younger. Wrote a book about it, kind of breaks it down. But I would go to like the Hustler store. I'd go to this adult store. I was trying to hustle my book, trying to see if I can get them to stock my book. I was trying to grind, man. I was trying to make my way. I'd go to the gym, try to hustle there for personal training clients. And then I would go and hit these adult stores and try to slang my book. I'm talking with a guy while I'm cleaning up in the halfway house, and somebody heard me talking about my book, and then I messed around and got a call, to the office, and the counselor sat me down with the other person who runs the administrators, and they said, hey, man, we heard you got a book you're selling. I said, a book? So yeah, you got a book, right? You wrote a book while you were in prison. I'm like, yeah. They said, do you mind if we get a copy of it? You have a copy? So I went back, I think I had a lock or whatever, duffel bag, went and got the book, showed him to him. Oh, how much you sell the book for? Yeah, it wasn't nothing, $8, $10. He said, okay, well, in the halfway house, you got to give them 25% of everything you make. I believe it was 25%, if I'm not mistaken. And on top of whatever else your expense is, but you got to give them 25%. So they're saying, well, you make X amount at your job, but whatever you sell from your book, we want 25% of that too. I said, damn, you want 25% of the book? I don't even make nothing off the book. Well, whatever your sales is, let us know, and we want 25% of that. I'm homeless. I don't have a job. I'm living at the halfway house. I don't have a car yet, and I'm trying to hustle a car. But this is what type of stuff you're dealing with, man. But I'm still out here. I'm telling you that I didn't have any fear. I'm still grinding. I don't care about the housing stuff. I'm happy just to go to the gym. I'm catching the bus from the hood in South Central all the way to Universal Studios to work out at LA Fitness and Studio City because I don't want to work out in the hood. I'm catching that bus ride all the way there. The bus, the blue line, red line, and then walking from Universal Studios over to the gym, LA Fitness, man. Sometimes I wonder how I did it. I would do that, get over there, try to hustle, get a client, dude, I'd be in the gym. I see somebody doing an exercise. I'm like, dude, if you arch your back, you tighten your form up, you can get better pump. Is that right? Are you a trainer? I'll look around. No, I'm not a trainer, bro, but I can train you. Is that right? Dude, I'm training clients in LA Fitness, and I'm not even a trainer there. But I'm making my moves. I'm trying to get paid under the table, because that money, I know I can get it untaxed, but then I still got to turn around and give the halfway house whatever amount of hours I was out and I said I worked, and if I'm doing overtime, I had to come up with the money to pay the halfway house the 25%. And then once you were at the halfway house for X amount of time, if you could figure out a way to, like, say if you had, you know, a girlfriend or a friend or somebody's house you could stay at, you could get home confinement. And home confinement, they had to have a hard line, which, you know, a lot of people at this time, they had got rid of hard phone lines. So you had to install a hard phone line that they could call because it was tied into an address, and they would call you at random times of the night to make sure you were actually where you were supposed to be. You'd have to wake up. Hello? Okay, halfway out? Yeah, okay, bye. And they would do that randomly at different times. Yeah, yeah. And so I was able to get home confinement. I had a hookup to a friend. I was able to stay at their house, and then I got home confinement. And then at home confinement, they would even want you still have to pay 25%. So the halfway house, they would have maybe a bed that 4 or 5 people were paying on, 25% each. Isn't that's a damn good hustle, man. That's a damn good government hustle. If you can get that, man, get you a halfway house and have 5, 10 people paying on the same bed, and you multiply that by 8 beds in the room, and you got 4 rooms like that, and you're housing these people for the government. Hey, that's a lick. That's a lick. But yeah, you know, during those rough times, I was so happy. I wasn't tripping off of, like, I didn't have the expenditures I have now as far as, you know, the house and, you know, restoring the cars and all that stuff. I was just like, man, I was just happy to be in the world, man. I was so happy to be able to, you know, I thought going to Panda Walk, you know, is it Panda Walk? Yeah, I thought that was like, oh, that's good Chinese food, man. That was garbage, man. I'm eating those little bowls because it's like $4 or $5, $6, you know, at the time. It was, you know, that was a meal, you know, and I thought I was eating healthy. I couldn't really afford a lot of protein and stuff back then. I wasn't, you know, eating at no super healthy places as far as, you know, if I had the money, I would go, but I was budgeting. Everything was a budget, you know. I would, you know, try to stretch out the money I had so I could put gas in the car I had at the time and be able to get from point A to point B. You know, the first car I bought this old Mercedes, like a 80-something, I think it was a 300 SL, or I forgot what it was, but it was an older Mercedes, and I paid like maybe $2,000 for it, and it was a bucket, man. It had a bad cylinder, so the compression was messed up, and it would have black smoke. You know, it wasn't running the best. But man, I had a Mercedes. You know, I had it in my mind, I'm not driving nothing but a Mercedes, so I'm driving that car. You know, and when I'm not driving the car, I would rent it out to another guy in a halfway house, and he would pay me to use it while he was running around. So we kind of like switched off at different times. I would let him go and drive it until I, you know, had to go and leave the halfway house. And that was another little hustle, my little rent car hustle that I was doing in there. But man, that car, you know, LA traffic, trying to get from South Central to Studio City, man, off the what is it, the 110, this shit was crazy, man. And the 101, and then the car, it would max out around 60, 65 miles per hour. So I can't really get in the fast lane, and that thing, you know, sometimes it felt like it was gutless, but I wasn't scared. I was still happy, man. It was like, life was just like, man, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm free. I'm out of the dungeon. I'm able to get out here and just run around, man. I was just, you know, everything was new and exciting. You know, having a smartphone back then, it was a BlackBerry, and, you know, being able to look for opportunities on the internet and just going to the gym, meeting people, and just all these, you know, being out and, you know, working with the homie DL, going to the clubs and, you know, trying to get a security job, you know, bodyguarding job, whatever the case may be, you know, training somebody. You know, I was just so happy, so grateful. But I wasn't living in fear. And they got a lot of you guys living in fear right now. And you don't realize that if you just say, to hell with all this stuff, turn it off, who cares? You know, a lot of times this shit is out of our control. But what you can't control is your life. You know, all the political stuff, all the left, right, you know, Republican, Democrat, all they're pushing this over here and doing this. Look, protect your family, protect yourself, but don't let this stuff get you caught up and upset your equilibrium of your spiritual self. And dude, you will be so much happier. I remember one time just going to the Lakewood Mall. I didn't have no money to buy anything. I barely had enough money to catch the bus from the hood to Lakewood. But it was Sunday and I had a pass, and I think I had an 8-hour pass. And I'm like, man, I'm just gonna get out of here. Cause I used to try to get out of there as much as possible. I hated being around the people, man. And you know, just the jail stuff, man, I was done with it. I wanted to get away from it as much as possible. So I go to Lakewood Mall, I get there. It takes like an hour and something to get there. So I have maybe 3 or 4, like 4 hours, and then I got to turn around because it's going to take me an hour and something to get back. I'll walk around the mall, look around. I can't buy anything. I don't have money to buy probably anything. I maybe got, you know, maybe 30, 40 bucks. And you know, I had a little bit of savings. I keep that little bit of money for emergency. Maybe I had a couple $100. And I would just think like, wow, man, what's my next move? I'm 30 something years old, maybe 33, 34. I have not a pot to piss in. Ain't no 401k, no stocks, no savings, no nothing, no, you know, I didn't even have a car then. But I was so happy to be free, man. I was so thankful. And sometimes you just got to be thankful. Thankful for what you have. Grateful for what you have in your life. The material stuff, man, that's a program too. You know, there's certain things I like too. I enjoy, you know, I don't need, you know, some of the cars, but I enjoy it, man. It makes me happy. I don't do drugs, but I like to drive my cars. But whatever it is you like to do, man, take some time to just enjoy it. And don't worry about the other bullshit you can't control. And don't let these people use this fear to fear-monger us into some bullshit. Just something to think about, man. BigHerc916.com. Pick you up some merch. Holler at me. Hey. Store and pick you up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that BigHerc916 has authored. To pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster signed by me for you. Oh shit! The popos are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit! With Fresh Out Ministries, we're doing a new program where we're doing a takeover of a mom pop cafe or restaurant, and we're doing a pay it forward. So we're gonna offer free meals at this particular restaurant or cafe, mom pop, for a certain amount of time, and we are asking that you make a donation to pay it forward so that we can continue doing this program for other mom pop restaurants and cafes, because we know that it's hard times out here. You have a lot of people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And so we're actually walking the walk. We've been doing it for over 11 years on social media. We've been getting shadow banned. We've been getting demonetized. So we want to give back, and this is our way of giving back to helping everybody through these trying times with this economy. You know, a lot of churches, they got $100 billion, and you don't see them out here helping the people who are in times of need, but they're still taking in the form of donations. But how's it helping the community? We want to build a community sense where we help each other. We can all overcome. You can't sit around waiting for somebody to save you. You got to save yourself. And this is the way you do it. So by us being able to do these takeovers with Fresh Out Ministries, with the mom pop restaurants and cafes. We want to be able to film, talk to you guys, get your feedback on what's going on right now in society. Hopefully you guys find it in your heart to donate. This donation, which is a pay it forward, will allow us to do other mom pops around the country eventually. But right now we're going to be in Southern California and Los Angeles, Orange County. So hey, reach out to your local businesses there. And if you are out of town in another area and you would like us to come there, if you provide the necessary means, we will come there also and do the same pay it forward. But right now, hey, if you're in locally in Los Angeles, Orange County, hit us up, freshoutseries@gmail.com. You can also make a donation on our link tree on our Instagram at freshoutseries. Officially, I only got one real spanking my entire life. My mom did the best a 14-year-old could do, raising me with love and instilling values that will last a lifetime. I was a straight A student and lived to make her happy. So how did I go astray? A horrible stepdad that stole my self-worth and invoked fear turned me into a person that I struggled to overcome. From skateboarding to selling drugs, gang banging in juvenile hall, I got caught the same way many young promising men get caught up. I struggled to find my identity, getting mixed up in shootouts, crime, and the adult entertainment industry. This roller coaster continued as I juggled college, hustling, and Hollywood, eventually catching a federal bank robbery case. I found redemption in prison while serving a 120-month federal sentence and came out a man on a mission. I became a social media influencer with over 500 million views on YouTube and a life coach mentoring people all over the world. This is my journey against all odds.